Spider-Man, Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Wealth and fame, he's ignored. Action is his reward to him. Life is a great big bang. Wherever there's a hang, you'll find a Spider-Man.
Hey everyone, welcome to Storytime with Spidey. And I know what you're thinking. Spidey's in a brand new costume. Well, not exactly. I have a little confession to make. I am not Spider-Man. I'm called the Scarlet Spider. I didn't pick that name for myself. I don't really like it, but we'll circle back to that. Spidey is off doing some thing with the Avengers, and he asked me to fill in for him today, because for some reason they don't need me. Captain Marvel said something about not needing us both. And I was a little bit nervous about stepping in for him because, that's it, Spidey. They don't know me. The kids, most of them have never heard of me. It's not like I have my own cartoon show or video game. I haven't been in any movies. And he said, that's where you can start. Give them a chance to meet you. So, one of the first things I want to clear up is I'm not from an alternate dimension or anything like that, like the Spider-Ham or that kid Miles Morales. I am what they call a clone. You see, I was created in a lab, believe it or not. There was a scientist by the name of Miles Warren who took a sample of Peter Parker, sorry, he told me not to say his name, Spider-Man's blood, and used it to create a whole new living being, which was me. Now, I have all of Peter's abilities. I can do whatever a spider can, spin a web any size, all that good stuff, but I'm not him. Where do I start? Spidey left me the book that he sometimes uses, the Marvel Encyclopedia, which he felt I could use to kind of shed some light and fill in some of the gaps in my story. So, we'll start with this section on him is kind of tiny. The Jackal. That's Professor Warren. He actually became a villain who wanted to ruin Spidey's life, so he created me in an attempt to do that. And when I was first, born, I met the real Spider-Man, and we were both wearing the same costume, and we each thought that he was the real one, which led to us fighting. I won't bore you with all the details, but Spidey went back to his life, and I went away in search of my own. Because see, in addition to having his abilities, I also have his memories, his feelings, his thoughts. I was never bitten by the spider, but I remember what it felt like. I didn't let what happened to Uncle Ben from letting that criminal get away happen, but I remember what it felt like. And that's why I realized that I was going to have to become a superhero too. Not right away though. At first, like I said, I went away trying to find a life of my own, but found myself drawn back to New York. And when I got there, things happened that made me decide that the world needed more heroes like me. And so I went about it the only way I knew how. So as you can see, I still came up with a red and blue suit. You know, I still have web shooters, but see, I wear mine on the outside. The other guy, he wears his underneath his gloves. And I did not come up with a name for myself, though. I went about stopping crimes, and I just didn't give much thought to what I was going to call myself then. Like, there was one cop that called me Spidey 2. There were some thugs that I took down, who called me the second-rate Spider-Man. I really didn't like that. And eventually, a reporter saw me, and when he heard that I didn't have a name, he came up with one for me, and he called me the Scarlet Spider, because it just sounded really cool to him. I didn't like it at first. I thought it was just a goofy-sounding name, but it stuck. Some of you probably know what that's like you have some nickname or something that maybe you weren't too crazy about, but enough people said it, and that's how people know you. Spidey's assistant, who is here with me today, has a nickname. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but all of her friends and family call her that. What happened, what really led me to realize that I still had a responsibility, even if I didn't have Spider-Man's life, was when I found out that one of his enemies was still on the loose. A guy known as Venom. I'm sure most of you know this guy. He's very dangerous. And the thing I had learned was that Spider-Man, had actually never beaten him. He got lucky. He managed to outthink him. He managed to talk his way out of the fight. But he had never actually taken him down. And I decided that Venom had to be stopped. So I put on my version of the suit, and I went after him. And I actually did beat him. It wasn't easy. I got hurt. I really didn't think I was going to survive it. But I beat him. And that was when I decided that I had to have a career as a superhero too. I eventually met up with the real Spidey, and that was kind of tough for both of us. Because I had to deal with him, he had to deal with me. When I looked at him, I saw a reminder of what I could never have, what I could never be. And when he looked at me, he thought of what the Jackal did to him, what the Jackal tried to take from him. But, oh, by the way, I'm in here too. Just because I'm not the big shot movie star, I don't get the great big whole page to myself. But I can show you. Give me a second here. See, like I said, I have his abilities, and that means I sometimes have to deal with the spider stickiness when it comes to turning the pages. Here I am. There you can see it. It's really cool. But, like I said, the hardest thing for me was figuring out my place in the world. And some of you might know what that's like. You have people who expect one thing or another from you, and the thing that you have to decide is, what do you want to do? Who do you want to be? Even though I wear a spider mask and have spider abilities, I can't be the guy who wore these things first. I just have to be me. So, even though I went about some things in a similar way, I am still my own person. I do things my own way. I still fight the good fight. I still play by the rules, try to help people, try to make the world a better place. But I don't try to be the other guy. It took some time, but he and I eventually became friends. I came to look at him, and he came to look at me kind of like a brother. Although some people will say he's kind of sort of my dad, but not really. And he proved to be a very big guy about it all. Since then, I've had my own adventures. I've had to deal with some of his enemies and some of my own. Who do we have here? Alberto. Hey there, Alberto. You're just joining us. Something I wanted to show you is a little bit bigger picture of me. Well, here we are. Really cool likeness, don't you think? So, as I was saying, sometimes it's just not easy finding your place in the world, especially if you are constantly being compared to somebody else. And there are some things that Spider-Man does better than me, and there are some things I do better than him. And in some ways, we're just kind of the same. But not really. And to me, that's what it's really all about. You do what you do best. You try to make the best of the situations. See, like right now, I'm protecting the neighborhood while he does his thing with the Avengers. And I took some time out to meet with you guys, which is really cool. I understand why he does it. He actually loves making the kiddies happy, teaching them lessons and things like that. Kind of like a costumed Mr. Rogers. You're probably not old enough to remember that guy. But he is who used to entertain and teach us when we were little. And that's my story. Yeah, my next takeover, I'll probably be touching on some other fun things that I've done, some of the struggles and troubles that I've had. I know that he was teaching you things like how to draw him and cool stuff like that. Maybe I can do that with you sometime. But that's really all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed learning about me and learning that there's different ways to be a hero. So, until next time, as Spidey would always say, Excelsior!
Is he strong? Listen up. He's a great